Celtic snatched the first ever away win in the Champions League. Hooper came short. Brown. Izagirre. He's done his bit. Samaras! Yes! He's done it! And he might just have won it! And Celtic are living the Champions League dream! And are so close to that so elusive away win now! Oh, what a fabulous goal.
Good evening and welcome to another episode of the Rebel podcast, coming to you from the Balcony of Freedom on this absolutely beautiful Wednesday evening in downtown Melbourne. Spring is in the air. It was a sensational day today, and I think someone else can concur with me on this one. Callum.
Good to see you taking time out of your very busy day to schedule to fit me in the podcast in. Appreciate it.
Not a problem.
It's only changed 4 times.
Not a problem. Look, I just want to first of all turn you and me down because that's quite loud. So hold on 1 second. Right.
Better?
Yeah. Second of all, I want to give a bit of a shout out to Dawn.
Hello, Dawn.
Dawn, who is on Twitter, goes by the Twitter handle of Granuali, I think. Granuali 1888. I'm really making a mess of that, Dawn. So I'll have to apologise again, because I have to apologise initially because one time Dawn tweeted me, but I didn't pay attention to Dawn's name. I just saw her Twitter handle, which didn't suggest whether she was a male or female. I referred to her as a bloke. And I felt...
Whatever.
And she took it in a stride. She just wrote back and sort of said, yada, 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 by the way, I'm a chick. And so, Dawn, I apologise.
Dawn's a very old-style name, isn't it?
It is a very old-style name. Now, I've got this image of a 70-year-old Glaswegian woman on Twitter. But anyway, she asks if... I think she tweeted this evening saying, "Can you make this podcast a lengthy one? I've got a long train journey on Friday morning to keep me entertained." Maybe she is 78. She's catching public transport.
I don't know. Is she from Glasgow?
She says that she is. Doesn't actually say. She just says she's a wee bit different. Right. That's about it. Anyway, so that's what I wanted to say. Okay. But let's talk about some other things, some other important things that have happened in the last 18 hours. So,
sorry, was there a game on?
There was a game on at 2 o'clock in the morning. It was very nice of UEFA to schedule it at such a ridiculous time. And Celtic, the football team that we have a passing interest in, have done something that both Napoleon and the Nazis couldn't do. They've crossed the Russian front and they've gone and got a victory in Moscow.
God bless them.
Isn't that amazing?
It is.
So let's talk about the game. Let's first of all talk about how stupid that stadium is.
Oh my God. First of all, they don't come out like a normal stadium in the middle. They come out from like some corner flag.
Mm.
And Celtic took a picture of the dressing rooms, and it looked like time had stood still.
Right.
Like there were wooden benches.
Right.
And there were no like lockers.
Oh, really?
Just like one coat hanger per player.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you see? There was a photo. Biram Kale tweeted a couple of days beforehand. He was getting a rub down in his hotel room. So it was just a shot from him, like down his legs, and the massage guy, the physio. He was clothed. Well, actually, when I get to my point, maybe it will be. Now it's all starting to make sense. But let me explain. At his feet was the massage guy or the physio or whatever, giving him a bit of a rub down. But I was looking at
his special friend.
His special friend, and I was looking in the background to what the hotel room looked like, and it looked like a really old, ratty, daggy hotel.
Yeah.
Something which you would imagine
from the Cold War.
Well, yeah, exactly. Or even worse, you'd think it was some sort of harem or some sort of den of iniquity. Yeah. So maybe that wasn't the Celtic physio. Yeah. Maybe that was Bhoys. Yeah, basically it was a shit hotel by the looks of it.
Yeah.
I reckon the club probably would have paid top dollar. That was the best that they've got.
Even the plane they got, like they got a plane over, and I think Charlie Mulgrew took a picture. And they're obviously in the front of the plane, but
yeah,
that was a bit dodgy as
well.
Was
it like Aeroflot or something?
Yeah, I don't know. But the stadium was weird because it came out, the camera came out, and it looked like there was no one there.
Well, exactly. I mean, it's where...
Because half the stadium
It's a tribute to the ugliness of Soviet architecture, totalitarian communist regimes that have no fucking imagination whatsoever. Like when the communists took over Eastern Europe, they said, our mission is to build as many ugly buildings as we possibly can over the next 150-year reign. And they built some really ugly buildings. And that football stadium is a tribute to it. And that's where they had the 1980 Moscow Olympics.
Right. That's where they had the 2010 Champions League?
Yeah, probably.
Final.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it's obviously got new seats. And
what was weird was there was like 20 Celtic fans there. And they were so far up.
I know.
From the
they were in St. Petersburg.
That was ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was odd.
And there's literally 8 athletics tracks around it.
Yeah.
It's not just the one. Like it's like it must be a 15-lane ath track.
Oh my god. You're so far away from the ground.
Yeah, and it just gives off, even watching on the telly, there's no atmosphere.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not like that pretend atmosphere where there's like one bloke at the front trying to tell everyone when to sing.
Yeah.
A little bit like, maybe go.
Snap.
But yeah, it was weird. It was odd.
Yeah.
The whole thing was odd.
Yeah, I don't like any of those. And normally when you watch those games, the cameras you're getting, the Russian cameras, and they've got some kind of crazy picture quality that they use that isn't what we are used to, which is high definition. It's like you're watching it through a fly screen.
Yeah.
You know?
But it was good.
Do people have fly screens outside of Australia?
I don't know.
I don't think people have fly screens.
Well, in Scotland they've got like, well, in Sean Donnelly's house, they've got, hey Sean, they've got the fly, like they've got like a mini room before.
Yeah, that's like a place where you put your shoes. And that's where you stand at 4 a.m. when you're actually blind drunk.
Trying to get the key. Brian!
No, but they don't, on the front door, they don't have fly screen. It's just the door.
Yeah.
Whereas in Australia we have fly screens because in Australia we have flies.
Mm.
And
so it's a mesh door for everyone that wants to know that.
So basically you're looking at television through a mesh door.
Yeah. All the old grannies have it to like protect them from strangers and things.
Yeah, because sometimes they're two-way.
Yeah,
one
way.
way. Yeah, you can't see in, but we can see out.
I like to do it to like when charity people come to my door. I like to keep that closed.
You're a giving soul, aren't you?
I am. Some charity girl came to my door the other day, and she was quite young.
Did you give her one?
I was trying to look to see if she was good looking or not, but I couldn't, and I didn't want to open the door. But she gave like a 45-minute spiel just about how's your day, what are you doing, what are you studying, and then she got around to telling me what it was. Yeah. And it was some bullshit like save the rainforest or something.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
We've got plenty of them.
We got Brazil's all covered in rainforests. Queensland's covered in rainforests.
And we're trying to knock them down, but no one let us.
So I told her to fuck off.
All right, well, let's get back on track here. What were we talking about? Football. So
the game we finally seen.
Yeah. So okay, when did you watch it?
Well, I woke up at 2. I woke up at 2, and I must have
in the AM.
Yeah. Gone downstairs, and I went to bed about 11, which was stupid. I knew that
11?
Yeah, 11. So I must have done this sleepwalking, because I don't remember any of it. And I've obviously gone to my computer room, started watching it, and then fallen asleep. And woke up at half-time, not knowing the score or anything.
Right.
So then I've gone, I was exhausted.
So it's pretty much like when we went to go watch the Huns games.
Exactly right. And it was so annoying, because at the half-time, they didn't have... throughout the entire ESPN on the computer, they had no time or goals or anything.
Yeah.
And then no commentary at half-time. So I went back to bed and left my Twitter. Then went back downstairs at 7 o'clock, and my dad had been up. And he didn't know how to look at the computer, so he just looked at his Twitter and found out the results.
Because he's really old.
And I've heard he's listening to the game, and I've gone, alright. So from a distance, I've gone, Dad, I'm coming downstairs, don't tell me the score. Winning to be done. And he went, I'm just watching all the goals. Yes, Callum, there are goals. And I've gone, oh, fuck. What's the score then? And then so he's telling me, and then I've watched it afterwards.
Okay, so you watched it knowing full well.
So it was relaxing.
It was relaxing. Which is Champions League games are not relaxing.
No.
That's one thing you know, you're excited about getting to the Champions League, but then it's
the whole
at
thing.
least 6 games of tension.
I can't actually imagine watching that game now live.
Yeah.
Knowing, like, obviously watching it, but knowing the score, knowing
Yeah.
that we came from behind and scored, in the 90th minute.
Yeah. I know.
That'd be tough.
So I kind of watched it relaxed because I had a sneaking suspicion that we got the result, and there was 3 reasons why. The first one was someone tweeted me, and it happened just as I woke up, like at 6 this morning, and I read it, and it kind of didn't say that we won, but it was a joke, and it kind of alluded to the fact that we'd won. I went, oh, that's good. But I thought, if it's good, if we've won, that's good. But if not, I'll, you know. And then I started getting all text messages from people in Scotland and, you know, family here.
Yep.
Do you know, and friends, you know, have you seen the score yet? You know, that leading kind of, have you seen the score yet?
Yep.
You know, you can read the tone. So I thought, okay, I'm going to put 4 and 5 together and come up with 26. I think we've definitely got a result here. So I just jumped on the computer and watched the game in a sense of comfort. But I was throwing some curveballs because, you know, if we go down 2-1, I'm like, the fuck? We come back in Moscow? No. Then I'm thinking, maybe people would wrap the basket in an away point, you know. But let's talk about the game as opposed to the thoughts. So, there's team selection. Any surprises there?
Is it Rabu? Is it the centre back?
Their centre back. Are we talking about our centre back or their centre back?
Is it Rabu?
Yeah, let's call it. No. Who?
He's the centre back.
You mean
black guy?
Ambrose?
Ambrose. Who's Rabu?
I have no idea.
Effie
Ambrose. Effie Ambrose. He looks like Barry White.
Yeah, no, he's great.
Well,
I loved him.
I don't even care if he can't play football. He's the coolest looking dude motherfucker I've ever seen.
Even when he runs, he's cool.
Yeah.
Like, he's got swag.
Oh.
There's so much swag in him.
He'd be a damn fine dresser.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Away from the game.
I reckon. He kind of reminds me of, like...
In the change rooms, he'd be a cool bloke.
Yeah, I reckon.
You know?
With a massive cock. But he was, so he was cool. So that's the first time I've seen him play, actually.
I like his beard.
Yeah.
I like everything about him.
I like having a black centre back as well.
Right.
I don't know, because when I first started watching Celtic, playing memory teams, it was the Bobo Baldy.
Yeah.
And he took no prisoners. And we haven't seemed to have one play like that.
I'm going to try and fly past your, racism there, but support you on that, because there's a theory about the Australian Wallabies that we always should have a chocolate guy at the base of the scrum. George Gregan, one of the greatest scrum halves that the Wallabies ever had. His parents' background was Zimbabwean. Now we've got Will Genia, although he's injured. Great halfback for the Wallabies.
Yep.
And in between that, we had a couple of white guys. Shit house. Crap.
Yeah.
So now we've got some, guys of a darker complexion back at the base of the scrum. I think things are looking good for the Wallabies. And I think you're right there in terms of Celtic as well. Paul Elliott in the 90s was... he was English, but obviously his background was Caribbean or something.
Yep.
Fantastic centre half for Celtic in the dark days when we were pish.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right, Bobo as well.
Yeah.
But there's been some stinkers as well. You probably don't remember this guy, but the guy called Tebele, who we all called Time Bomb Tebele, because we don't know when it was about to explode, when his brain was about to explode, and he would just make some ridiculous back pass. Like, you look at him and just think, oh, shit. As soon as the ball, particularly like the games against the Huns, really tense sort of stuff, and then he would be defending, and you'd look like, oh shit, oh thank God I got away for that one. So he isn't a good example of that. But you make a point that we have had some talented centre backs.
So I reckon it was surprising that Charlie played kind of that holding midfield role.
Yeah.
The thing with Charlie is you have to play him.
Yeah.
And because Izzy played actually quite well.
Now, when you watched when they did the team sheet on the screen, that's not actually how they lined up. They had us playing 4-4-2, but we didn't really play that way.
No.
And at some points when we were defending hopelessly in the first half, I would argue there was no shape whatsoever.
No, it was a bust. But
it was definitely it was sort of how would you say?
There was 4 across the back.
Yeah, so you had Izzy and
Lusty.
Mikhail Lustig either side. 2 centre backs being Ambrose
Wilson.
And then we had sort of Charlie playing in
holding midfielder.
Yeah. And then I guess then we sort of had the four across the middle, really, didn't we?
Yeah, Bruni, Wanyama,
Collins, and who else was out there?
Not Forrest because he came on, not Ledley because he came on.
Who went off to let those guys?
He only came on for Ledley. And then we had Hooper up front as well.
Yeah, who was it? The fifth midfielder.
I'm finding out.
I can't believe that.
We'll keep going.
So I thought it was a good team when.
Yeah, it was a really strong team, and I mean our bench really strong.
Yeah, someone made the remark that has there been a bench with such depth? Oh, Sammy. Jesus. Right now, people are listening to podcasts screaming,
tear their hair out,
whatever they're listening to, going, "It was Sammy, you stupid bastard!
He scored a last goal.
Okay, see, and you watched that game as well." So that was yeah, I thought it was a good team. So the game gets underway. To a half-empty stadium
and four Celtic supporters.
They had four Celtic supporters
who had their shirts off by this stage.
Yeah, exactly. Good turnout though by those guys.
Yeah,
I wonder how many guys made the trip.
That's tough.
But I'm assuming there must have been a lot of expats living in the area and stuff. Not you could hear them though, because they were literally in another city.
Yeah.
The first goal goes in from a move that came down the wing, and point out all three goals were from crosses.
Which is great.
And Hooper just handles it quite nicely.
After we didn't touch the ball.
Yeah.
For at all that entire time.
Yeah, it was not a good start.
I don't think we actually strung two passes together.
No.
And it was great. But I mean, we probably had 3 or 4 really good counter-attacking chances where we just attacked at pace.
Yeah.
There was a couple of times when Sammy didn't really know what to do with the ball in terms of...
To see one when he just completely got lost.
Yeah, he went back halfway.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we were 3-on-3.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and there's another one when he just then booted it at the opposition.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck are you doing? And that's the thing about Sammy, you know, he likes to keep you guessing. he likes to keep himself guessing.
Yeah, exactly right.
I do not know what I'm doing with this. That looked beautiful.
Do you reckon he gets his hair blown out before each game?
Oh, it's immaculate.
Yeah.
It's
He's a good looking bloke.
He is. And then so we score, but they had so much possession. Like I took some notes when I watched the game.
I was 70%, 30% at one stage or something like that.
Yeah, it was crazy. And even at half time, it was still it was 60-40. And then they get an equal.
Just say right this way, when Wanyama tackled that bloke to pass to Lustig, and then crossed it into Hoops, that tackle was awesome.
Yeah,
and if he went to ground, he would have been. It was almost like the red card he got against the Huns last year.
Yeah,
because it kind of looked like that.
Because both feet were off the ground.
Yeah, but if he went to ground, that would have been, he would have been in trouble.
Yeah,
but he just bulldozed his way through the ball.
Yeah, I just think he puts the fear into opposition players.
I reckon. And that was after he stuffed up a couple of passes. So it's great that he put himself about.
Yeah,
and then ended up doing a really good pass to Lustig, who did the perfect ball in.
That yellow card that Charlie Mulgrew got.
Oh, I wrote that down.
I reckon that was. I don't think that was actually. I think that was. I've not read this anywhere. My theory is because he won the ball and then he crossed the ball in, but the whistle had already gone before he crossed it. I think he got the yellow card for kicking the ball away.
He did. That's what the yellow card for.
Oh, okay.
But I don't think he could hear it.
Oh, hardly not. Yeah.
Because his reaction was like he was shocked about it.
Yeah.
I think he was trying to say that he just heard it as he was kicking the ball.
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
Yeah, very soft. I thought the referee was a bit of a dick, actually.
Yeah.
Well, he was probably smoking the ref or something beforehand because he was all about him that day. And a couple of challenges, like on Commons in the first 15 minutes, we clearly got tackled.
Yeah.
An illegal challenge, and the guy won't play on.
He got nothing. And that was the penalty claim that we had as well, which didn't look that innocuous in watching it sort of, in the cut and thrust of the game, but when they actually showed the replay, it was a definite call. I'm not saying it was a penalty, but I'm saying it definitely was
50-50.
Yeah, it was worth a call, And he just gave it nothing, gave it donuts.
No, I agree.
So they equalised. Now, I'm trying to remember, that equaliser, is that the parry?
You mean Rab Douglas came on?
Yeah.
No, that was second half when Rab Douglas...
That was
when Rab Douglas came on for force. I didn't know that happened.
Oh. When did... let's talk about that in a moment. When did... they scored just before half-time, but how did they score again? What was it from? I can't even remind.
I haven't written this down. No, I must have just missed that altogether. So I thought the ref was... No? I don't know. Let me find out.
So they've scored, and that's it. As I said, when you think you've won, I wasn't that worried about it.
Yeah.
But obviously at the time. But I was trying to think to myself, how would I be feeling right now if I didn't think we won? And you'd be pretty pissed off about going at half time and having done all that hard work to hit the lead and then to give it away. So half time comes and the stats go up and it looks... it
was it was a break from halfway. The guy... It was a beautiful ball, actually. 3 beautiful kind of technical bits of skill. The guy from kind of I think it was the left defender had crossed it in. The guy, beautiful touch. There was so much spin that ball. Beautiful touch to the guy in the middle of the park. Guy in the middle of the box, and he knocked it past.
It was a long ball.
Yeah, Callum Wilson should have done better.
Yeah, and the cross back over.
That was a nice ball.
Forrest did the right thing because he guarded the front post, right? But
who?
Forster. I say Forrest. No, Jesus Christ. And he did the right thing. But Calvin Wilson sort of just stood there and let the ball go by him. He didn't kind of get close to Forster as well and protect it with him.
It was almost like that's what you don't need to happen in Champions League games where they've lost concentration for that split second. And all it was a long ball, Yeah. And so you should be doing a lot better than that with long balls.
Exactly. And that's one thing, you listen to all this bullshit on the bloody TV and stuff about football and how it's, no one plays a long ball anymore in Europe and it's all about the fucking Spanish false nine and all that crap.
Yep.
In the end, teams just go with whatever's going right there and then. And that was a long ball. The guys went, okay, the two defenders are sort of exposed a bit. Our guy's going to try and get underneath him. Like the same against Benfica. We almost conceded a goal when Forster cleaned up that guy.
Yeah.
That was from a long ball as well. It doesn't, it's just... It's getting on my... I think I'm probably ranting here a bit, but it's starting to get on my nerves.
Well, there's a couple of times that...
About this whole fucking false nine
There was a couple of times... Well, they didn't... I would argue that a lot of their balls were just long balls.
Yeah.
And Wilson and... Rabbi? Ambrose.
Think of Curly Ambrose.
And Ambrose... But they were quick enough to actually... get back. There was one time when Ambrose got turned really easily. Yeah. Then that felt like the first 10 minutes, and then managed to kind of stride his way back. Yeah. Being really cool and collected and swaggy. Yeah. And he dealt with it, kind of thing. Yeah. So I completely agree with you, especially in those. And the ball was kind of sitting a bit funny with obviously the bounce because it was the artificial pitch and stuff. So. It might take them a while to get used to it. Yeah, I was just trying to think. It is an artificial pitch, isn't it? Yeah. The rubber flies everywhere. Right. So half-time comes, and then the second half, they hit the lead. They do. And that was, as you said, Rab Douglas-esque. But it really wasn't his... Well, okay, he should have actually left it. It wasn't going in. No, well, it was a deflection. And all he needed to do... Because it wasn't going very fast, because it deflected off, I think, maybe Wilson or someone. Yeah. So all he had to do was... If he could have actually probably caught it in the end. Yeah. But if he wasn't going to catch it, parry it out. I think there are a lot of players to blame for that goal, and not just Forster. Like the follow-up, the follow-through, the tracking back was pretty poor as well. Yeah, and they actually exposed Wilson because the two players, I can't really remember who it was, but it would have been Charlie and Wanyama who were playing that kind of holding midfield role. They kind of just let that guy go, which meant Wilson had to come out to him. Yeah. Because before that, those two players were actually doing pretty well cutting those balls off from the midfield into the striker's feet. Yeah. And that guy, that one, was the midfielder just kind of ran at, an exposed centre back, and he just did what he had to do, stick his foot out. Yeah. And then, kind of was a bit of a calamity from there. Yeah. But then from the second goal, obviously then the sending off happened. Yeah, that was odd. And that was bizarre. Now, if you're watching that live, you'd have been going nuts. Yeah. Well, I watched it on Celtic TV, and at that point, just before then, Tony Hamilton and Mark Hurrides, who were in Moscow commentating, their feed dropped out, so we couldn't hear them, so it was dead silence. Oh. We could hear the crowd and stuff, but there was no commentary. And so the referees... So I'm actually basically watching it without anyone telling me what's going on, and the referees obviously... let play go on,
And I'm like, what? And then he's blowing the whistle, and I thought, oh, he's going to go back and
I thought he was going to
book Hooper.
Oh, yeah.
I went, oh, you've got to be kidding me. And he looks across to the linesman, and then obviously, then he pulls out the red card from nowhere.
Yeah.
But so what happened was, on Celtic TV, they cut back to the Glasgow studio, and Greg Kyle started commentating saying, I'm sorry, but we've just lost the feed from the boys in Moscow, so obviously this is what's happened, and because they're doing it live, and there's no vision, so there's people listening to it around the world, I guess. And he's going, I'll just fill you in. So-and-so's just gone down, last offender, and I don't know what's happening here. You know, what is going on?
Yeah.
This is bizarre.
Even David Proven went, wait a minute, he can't be booking Hooper. Because they thought they were booking Hooper as well.
Right.
And Chris Collins went nuts. Chris Collins ran over to the linesman.
Yeah.
And went, what's going on there?
And it wasn't like it wasn't a really vicious kind of tug.
No.
I mean, but it was enough just to sort of...
Well, he would have scored the goal.
Yeah.
Well,
when he went through, I thought, he's the goal.
Mm. Well, and then afterwards it took, I think it was like 6 minutes for the guy to be off.
Yeah. I went forever.
And then they made a substitution. And then the guy came on.
Yeah.
And David Proven and, Crocker?
Yeah.
He was down. This is ridiculous. They were saying, this is actually ridiculous what's going on right now.
And now that you said that, that's actually why there was 5 minutes of stoppage time in the second half.
Yeah, which was bullshit.
Yeah.
We were winning.
Yeah.
And they should have just got rid of that stoppage time.
Yeah, yeah.
That was our stoppage time. That was our stoppage time to have.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was going, nah, none of this.
So, and then the free kick. It wasn't a bad free kick from Charlie, but this was right down his throat, basically. Then Lenny makes a substitution.
How good was that substitution, eh?
Yeah.
Super sub, James Forrest, who hasn't been playing very well, but came on and...
Perfect person to come on when your opponents are down a man, so you bring on one of the fastest, fittest, I use that in air quotes. I am still dubious about his fitness.
Yeah.
But certainly a fast winger, attacking style player.
And it was great. I mean, Hooper's ability to hold the ball up in the box where another striker would have probably turned and shot over the bar.
Yeah. And
then have the vision to pass to Forrest running in was pretty incredible as well.
Yeah.
And that kind of came off. It was weird because they actually deflected off. It was no goal in the end.
Yeah.
But it was great. It was a great goal, actually.
And well worked down the
left-hand side.
On the left-hand side, yeah.
All those goals were actually really well executed.
Yeah. And
really, when you think about it, other than maybe Jay Lely's shot, we really had 3 shots on target.
We had 9 shots on target.
Okay, we had 9 shots on... I don't know how many.
When I looked at the stats at the end, I was going, really? Like, the first half, we were behind in most of the stats, corners and possession and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And completed passes, and then in the second half, it kind of evened up. But we actually had more shots on target than those guys did.
Well, I do guess that, because after the guy got sent off, we kind of piled on the pressure, I thought. Yeah. And it was mostly in our attacking half. Yeah,
and when they went around down, they sat really deep.
Yeah.
Like, really deep. And if I'd have been a Spartak fan, I would have been a bit pissed about that.
Well, I think all they were trying to do was play for the draw in the end, weren't they?
Yeah.
That's all they wanted.
It was really cynical, though. It was still a fair way to go. Having said that, though, geez, the game went quick.
Yeah, I thought so. Well, I guess because it was... I skipped ahead as well from that's fine, because I kept skipping ahead from every injury and every time someone went down.
Yeah.
But it did feel like the second half went a lot quicker than what it normally would.
Yeah.
And the guy did play 5 minutes extra time as well, so...
Yeah. So the equaliser, and as you said before, good presence of for Hooper to know that Forrest is coming behind him, because when he turned around, I was like, just friggin' shoot you know. And then the next thing he lays it across to
it was great.
James, and just away you go. Bob's your uncle.
Good first touch.
Yeah, and then you're right though. Then it was kind of relentless, really, wasn't it? Attacking, and we had plenty of opportunities.
It was really good though that we didn't kind of look. It was a really good another substitution to put Jay Lely on as well, and take Wanyama off, and instead of having the holding, that kind of holding midfielder, and then put Jay Lely in as a box-to-box midfielder, because we wanted to win that game, which was great. Instead of kind of maybe an old Celtic team would have probably sat back and maybe wanted the draw. Did
Victor come off for Forrest, and did Ledley come on for Charlie? I remember Ledley and Charlie come off.
Yeah, probably.
So it was interesting that he did take off those 2 guys who I thought were both playing, good games.
Yeah.
In my mind, I would have maybe sort of taken off Lustig or something and get all back 3. And
yeah, Mulgrew came off for Ledley and Wanyama came off for Forrest. Yep, you're right. And McGiddy went off as well.
Oh, I want to get to that in a minute.
All right.
And then the final goal in the 90th minute.
Brilliant.
Once again, well worked down the side. Nice ball from Collins.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Straight to Izzy. And do you know what? The 3 goals, the cross from Lustig, the cross from Izzy, and the cross from...
Hooper or...
Who was it? Who put it in for...
Was it Izzy again?
Might have been Izzy again, actually. Quick, early crosses, early balls in. None of this freaking waiting around for half the fucking defence to turn up again and get set, you know? Moving the ball fast.
It was Hooper.
But
that's the thing I must say. When we went forward, you know, especially the first 45 minutes where we were absorbing all this pressure, when we attacked and counter-attacked, we counter-attacked like a bloody good team.
Yeah.
And Celtic haven't done that very well.
No.
Previous years, especially away in Europe. Whereas we did that really well. And we passed the ball really... And I guess that pitch helps with that because you can trust the ground and trust the pitch and trust it's going to be a true bounce and stuff. But we just... There was no nonsense in how we played.
Yeah.
And if one side was kind of bogged down, they'll move the ball really quickly instead of... What they tend to do in the SPL is they kind of get stuck on the one side and then slowly pass it around and then even 40 more players get back and kind of crowd the space.
Yeah.
So, I thought that was really good as well.
And then the final whistle went.
It was brilliant.
And a 21-game hoodoo was broken.
3 games in a row we've won in Europe.
I know, it's amazing.
Which is great, yeah.
Like, I'm really happy that we've got Barcelona in the new camp next, because...
Easy peasy.
We're loving his away games.
Yeah, bring him on.
We are loving his away games.
We're a big support as well, going to Barcelona, and we always get a good welcome there.
Who isn't going to Barcelona is the question. You and I aren't going to Barcelona.
We're not going to Barcelona.
If that's not on bloody...
SBS.
Or
you know what? I don't even care if it's on SBS.
I hope it's not on SBS.
I want it to be not on SBS, so I can just watch it on the computer.
I don't want to listen to frigging Craig Foster crap on about his bloody Naked 4 or whatever it is, or the False 9 or some shit, bloody new frigging setup. Fucking...
I saw a YouTube video of him the other day with Ange Postecoglou, who's the new Victory coach.
Yeah, for our folks in north of Bundaberg, that's the local A-League team.
But it was one when Ange was just coaching like the under-17 Socceroos.
Okay.
And Craig Foster. Too many Forrest and Forster. He went off at Postecoglou in an interview. Have you seen the interview?
No, I haven't, but he's always been a critic of him.
He's just a dickhead.
He's a critic of everyone.
He thinks he's a football analyst. That's the name they give him on the SBS.
Yeah.
And he wears really bad suits.
Yeah.
And he sits way too close to the guests.
Yeah.
Like he's a massive...
Yeah, so anyway, enough about Craig Foster. We'll have to put up with him if the next Celtic Barcelona game.
Which is probably won't be.
On SBS. And so 3 wins on the spin. Little story about Gordon Strachan, who was on ITV.
Yeah, it's funny.
And he was for those who weren't aware of this, he was like a guest panelist on ITV for the Champions League games last night. And they turned to him and said, "Let's talk about the Man U game, or one of the other games." And he says, "Never mind that. I thought we were going to start talking about Celtic." And the guy goes, "We'll get to Celtic later. Don't spoil it." You know, and he was just grinning away. I mean, this is a guy that used to play for Aberdeen. Celtic fans hate his guts because he got Roy Aitken sent off in the 1984 Scottish Cup final. He's come to Celtic. He's managed the club for a couple of years. And he's just brilliant.
He loves it.
He's one of the best ambassadors for Celtic in the media going around.
Definitely.
That's exactly how morons like Craig Burley should be behaving. I mean, take a leaf out of bloody Wee Gordon Strachan's book.
I think he's the only pundit that supports Celtic in Scotland. He also said we when he was referring to Celtic.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. Or us. Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
He's great.
I love it. He kind of reminds, and because he's down south with all those English, morons.
Yeah.
He kind of reminds me in some. I don't want to talk blow wind up my own ass, but he kind of reminds me at the FLAC meetings, the weekly FLAC meetings, because everyone is there is all into English football, blah blah. And I'm flying the flag for Celtic. I'm going to write another article about Celtic this week. Like, I don't care. I'm here to talk about Celtic. I don't want to talk about English football.
Well, your mates you run on the FLAC, they're both their teams are in the Champions League.
I know. Where's Liverpool, huh?
Suck it.
They're playing Sofia Legia or something.
Some stupid Diddy Cup. Until we get in that cup, then it's going to be fucking brilliant.
Best cup ever, mate. So next up is Barca. But before we talk about Barca, let's actually just let's hear from our manager and listen to what he had to say about the performance on
yesterday, last night.
Yeah, that's it. That one.
Really deserved it. I thought we were magnificent. Once we adjusted to the game, second half you go down just after half time, and sometimes the game runs away from you then, but you showed great character, allied to that, great ability, and I thought we played fantastically well from 55 minutes on, and to come here and win after being a goal down, I can't speak highly enough for the players, and maybe now people will start giving our club the credit it deserves, and maybe give Scottish football a little bit more respect now.
How big an impact did the red card have?
Well, for me it was a clear red card. I wasn't sure whether the referee was going to give it at first, but Gary's clean through, he's been pulled back. But it gave us the impetus, we decided to be a bit bolder then, bring James on and try and stretch the game a little bit, and sometimes those decisions go for you. I mean, he more or less scored with his first touch, but there were so many huge performances out there. Gary Hooper was just world class today, and people keep saying, why do you keep prompting him for England? Well, I mean, I think he showed everybody why tonight, and Lustig, Samaras came up with the goods again, Commons, I mean, they're all heroes. Isagera was fantastic as well, back four, goalkeeper. So it's a huge night for the club, and I'm sure there's a lot of happy faces back home in Glasgow tonight.
Izzy versus Aidan McGeady.
Yeah, well, I wrote this down before the game started, and I wrote...
Good on you. Did you have trouble with that? Did you need to lie down after it?
I'm not the one who gets forced Forrest get confused, mate. So just sit in your own box. But I wrote, good tactical move to put McGeady on Izzy's side by the Russians. Because Izzy was really struggling.
Mm. And McGeady played him into form.
He did. Thank you, Aidan. Best £10 million was what you've given us.
Yeah.
I thought he played great, Izzy. And there was a couple of times Aidan, Izzy wasn't, and Provan said this, wasn't quite sure which way to show him.
Yeah.
But in the end, because he's quick enough, and he's actually probably just as fast as McGeady, he kind of recovered every other time that he got beat.
And he wasn't getting sucked in for Aidan's little sort of twists and turns and jinx and stuff.
And because Aidan really does one thing.
Yeah.
He does the left-hand shoulder down, like drops the shoulder, kicks on the opposite side of the foot from the outside and kind of runs around him.
Yeah.
And Izzy didn't fall for that one at all, I don't think.
No. I think half the reason why Izzy played a good game was before the start of the game, he had a massive prayer session.
Jesus. And
huge prayer session.
And during, just like other games going on, he was praying to himself.
Another prayer session.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
He really gave it to God.
I think Celtic must have asked for that massive long, walk from the changing rooms to the middle of the ground.
Yeah.
Because Izzy doesn't get a very big one from Parkhead because it's
straight on.
Yeah.
But even I remember the camera sort of sat on him for, we're waiting at sort of his left back or right back spot or whatever else, left back. And he was hands in the air. And he was just, I thought he was doing a whole novena.
The poor kid that, he's supposed to hold their hands. He got that long.
Gets nothing from Izzy. Yeah, that'd be annoying too, because imagine you walk on the pitch and there were two kids and they were all getting assigned to the players, and one got Beer and Kyle and one got Izzy, and he's like, I don't get to hold anyone's hands. That sucks. Let's talk about Barcelona.
Yep.
Revenge time. They're the only team that's beaten us in the Champions League at Paradise.
Yeah.
And I was just trying to think, there are only two teams that we've actually not beaten in the Champions League since we've been playing in the group stages proper, either home or away. Can you name the other team?
Man United. And we beat them 1-0, didn't we?
Beat them. Yep.
No, I can't.
Bayern Munich. We drew with them.
We've never gotten that ever.
We drew with them at Parkhead and we lost on the road.
Right.
So
there you go.
So we've
That's our time.
Yeah, I think it's time to go to the Camp Nou and stick it up and
Barcelona, they're not a good team anymore.
Stick their false nine up there, Jaxie. What is the false nine anyway?
He's messy.
Do you know
small.
He's a midget.
He had a issue when he was growing up. He had a medical condition.
Not there's anything wrong with midgets, but he's got a really bad haircut.
Yeah.
He's nothing like
rich people.
Ambrose.
Gotta sort it out.
Yeah.
Like Ronaldinho, those teeth.
Yeah.
You have a horse mouth, mate.
Oh.
Sort it.
Where's he these days?
I've got no idea. Yeah, I agree.
He could bite it. He could eat an apple through a bloody tennis racket.
There's a lot of things that need to be cut out today. I think that needs to be cut out.
That's fine. That is fine. Your remarks about liking current bloody TV broadcasters and questioning their sexuality, I think, is something that will be removed from this podcast.
Yeah, no, I agree.
What, that should be removed? Or
No.
Ronaldinho can eat
Messi can
put an apple through a tennis racket.
Messi needs to sort his hair out. We got really good hairstyles, except for Tony Watt. Not sure what's going on there.
You don't like Tony's haircut?
Him and Charlie, I think, go on the same barber.
Yeah. I think the girls like Charlie, though.
The
girls like Tony Watt.
Yeah, well, he's rich and young. If he doesn't love him, I love him.
Sure. Now we've also got the cousins of
Yeah. I saw Sam Russell's already looking forward to that game.
Yeah, I bet he is too. What about Sammy?
Can't love him. I've missed it so much. You know what? I've missed the hands to the face. I would never thought I said that, but I missed it.
Yeah.
It's good for new back.
He goes down like a sack of shit too, doesn't he? There was one there, it was a high ball, and it kind of looked like he got belled in the face, but then he was down on the ground, hands on the face, and then I looked at the replay, the guy didn't even get him.
I love how he looks at his hands to see if he's bleeding.
Yeah.
And he's clearly not bleeding. And he keeps doing it to see, because he wants to obviously bleed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He should go play rugby union, then he'll bleed.
Yeah. He's a bloke that would carry nail clippers in his soccer kit.
Yeah. Well, do you remember when we were at Olympic Park watching the boys have a bit of a run through, and Paddy McCourt did he belt the ball into his face or something?
He did.
And he went down and it was like all the players were like rolling their eyes going, oh, Sammy, get up.
Yeah.
No one, you're at training. The stadium's empty.
And he was down for most of the training session.
Yeah. He wasn't happy about that.
James Forrest did one lap
in
that entire time.
This is like the third time we've mentioned that.
Well, sort it out.
We're clearly scarred. We just sat there for 3 hours watching James Forrest literally walk around the perimeter of a football pitch, and that was his exercise.
That was his pre-season.
Yeah. So, Hearts on the weekend. Back to mundane SPL football.
Bring on the reserves.
You think? Getting cocky.
Yep. I don't know. I shouldn't have to stick the same team. Maybe Scott Brown comes out.
Yeah. I'd definitely give Brownie a rest.
If he's injured.
Yeah.
And maybe even Sammy, or probably bring Ledley on for the game.
Yeah, play Ledley.
Take Brown off, put Ledley in. And maybe Sammy, because that's his first game back, he's played the whole game for Forrest, maybe.
Would you stick with the Ambrose Wilson combo at the back?
Yeah, these two need to, form a partnership and see how each other play and kind of figure that type of stuff out. And they seem to work against the Champions League. So I can't imagine why it wouldn't work against a Diddy club.
I think Wilson's starting to get some confidence now.
I think centre back is one of the hardest positions to play.
Yeah.
And if you don't play it regularly, or you play with someone you don't play with regularly, it's things like going up for headers, positioning, switching men, and then you have your keeper as well.
Yeah.
You need to have a strong back two who've played there for a couple of years, or played there for at least a couple of games. Just see how each other play, because I think that's important.
Yeah.
And once they do that, I think Wilson, since the first Champions League game, his confidence has grown.
Yeah.
And I think his best attribute is he's so quick, so if he fucks up, he can get back quickly.
Yeah. When is the Barcelona game? 2 weeks away, is it right?
3, because there's a international break.
Oh, God, I'm sick of the international breaks.
Why are you going with international breaks? I don't even know. What about Chris Commons not getting into the Scotland squad, but Ian Black getting in?
What's with that?
As all the Celtic fans said on Twitter today, we're happy.
Yeah.
We don't want to play.
I'd rather none of them get picked, but... What's with... how's Sevco going? I haven't checked.
They won 1-0 or something.
Right.
Against the team of plumbers.
Right.
Did you hear what Elbows McCullough said the other day when they knocked Motherwell out of the cup?
No.
He went, it's great to get the 3 points today. It's a cup, fuckwit.
Oh, dear.
Jesus.
Oh, God.
Get on him.
Good on him.
And
special guy.
And Charles Green's been going on at the north of Ireland to all the loyalist areas and drumming up support.
Might as well go to the lowest common denominator.
Well, nothing. You can't much say there, can you?
No, you can't. No, you can't. But what you can say, it's good to be a Celtic supporter right now.
And so they can get better for the. So see the old Rangers, £94 million. That was their final debt.
Oh, okay.
And they paid £125,000 for PR.
It was more than that.
Yeah, well, even more than that. So how bad is their PR?
Yeah.
They spend all that money.
What, have we heard about the tax case yet?
October.
Let's
keep going.
Do you remember when we started talking about this when our dreams came true?
Oh,
we were reminiscing about this.
Morning ever.
We were reminiscing about this a while ago. About how much fun it was when the Rangers were going bust.
Reading Twitter.
So much fun. But at the time I was saying, and when that tax
like
first tier tax case comes in, and we're going, we definitely know by the 1st of March. Definitely by Easter. Definitely by, definitely end of season. Jeez, it's now October.
Well, supposedly this month they're winding up officially.
Right.
Which is going to be great.
Someone bloody pay those public servants some more money so they can get this thing done.
Where's Craig White?
Yeah, whatever happened to him?
I'm actually worried for his safety. Someone put a missing persons thing there.
I think he's sitting on a banana lounge in Bermuda just going, this is the life.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. And I reckon Peter Lawler sitting beside him and hands him a brown paper bag saying, thanks very much, mate, really appreciate that. Loved your work.
I reckon Charles Green will be there pretty soon as well.
Yeah. Well, he's failed bloody Rangers and Sevco chairman or whatever the hell they are. Yeah. How significant, in terms of wrapping up, well, not in terms of a stupid sentence, before we wrap up, how significant was the win today, this morning? In the not just in terms of...
Yeah, one of the biggest wins in the 2000s.
Yeah.
I would say.
That win was worth €1 million
really
for the club.
Jesus.
Which is about 24 Australian dollars, because the dollar is so strong these days. And it's our coefficient... also got a boost, and in terms of we've moved up 2 spots as in Scotland's coefficient 19. Oh, we've put Scotland's coefficient up. Excellent.
So thank you, Scotland.
Yeah, I did like the article on eTims today. I don't know if you saw that 21 things from last night. Did you ever read that?
I haven't read eTims today.
Okay, it's quite good. I'll quickly just go through them because it's actually worth having a bit of a laugh about it, but 21 things from last night. Number 1, David Provan, does he suck lemons before every Celtic game? Number 2, knock knock, who's there? Aidan McGeady who? That's football. Number 3, John Collins, our new good luck charm. I don't get that. Did you get that?
No.
What did John Collins has done something? Hugh Kevin's, number 4, Hugh Kevin's pre-match prediction, best case scenario is parking the bus for a point. Good on you, Hugh. That might have worked for the Huns, but not for us. Number 5, with 5 Scots, 3 English and 2 Welsh, Celtic truly Team GB. Number 6, watching the game on an iPad as you bath your 2 kids is risky as well as potentially costly. That was good. Number 7, Lennon can make game change substitutions. Very good point. Number 8. That was possibly the strongest Celtic bench since 2003. Well, actually, we said that.
Yeah, eSIMs.
We won ahead of them, mate. Number 9, Samaras is a big ride now. In Ireland, that would mean something else completely different. In number 10, in Europe, James Forrest will be an immensely important option.
Yep.
Which is that is true. I think that people underestimate. James Forrest is the epitome of the Celtic side. He's underestimated as a footballer in a general sense. I think Celtic going into this Champions League campaign will be immensely underestimated. I think Spartak underestimated us.
Yeah, did you hear about the... I agree with that, because I'm thinking, did you hear about the press conference Neil Lennon and Scott Brown did pre-game?
No.
Well, Neil Lennon tweeted that was the weirdest press conference there's ever been.
Right.
And
I saw photos, he was laughing the whole time.
Yeah, well, he asked one of the UEFA officials if one of the journalists was a accredited journalist.
Right.
Because he asked Scott Brown, in a series, one of the Russian journalists, do you watch Braveheart before every game?
Oh, my God.
And Scott Brown has replied with a stone face seriousness, yes, and we also wear kilts before the game. I think they had a bit of fun with it.
Right.
But that could be, these people, these Russian, there's other kind of journalists from outside Scotland obviously not taking Celtic too seriously.
No. Do you watch Braveheart before the game? Before the game. Yes. Yes, I do. I also answer with Russian accent, even though I'm from Kirkcaldy.
I can see he's got around doing that though.
Number
11.
Ivra 11. European refs are taught by the SFA. Number 12, Gordon Strachan isn't so bad after all.
It's funny that all the people that used to hate Gordon Strachan are now jumping on his bandwagon.
I know. But it's a nice admission in some respects, isn't it, to say that. Number 13, is it okay to use forwards away from home, Mr. Levine? Number 14,
Mr. Levine.
Craig Levine.
11, mate.
11.
What are you from the posh parts of last year?
Yeah, maybe. I'm pure posh. Number 14, with a bit of channel hopping, you could keep watching the goals for hours last night. I like that. That would have been fun. That's the thing about when you watch it on delay. You have to go into social media lockdown.
And that's the problem. Well, when I wake up every morning, I go Twitter, Facebook, like The Age, all that type of stuff.
RedTube.
Yeah, correct. And I couldn't even go on like my radio because I normally do the scores for that.
Yeah.
So that was freaking hard. Yeah. Then I get downstairs and Dad's watching it.
I listen to every morning. I listen to Radio Nagalfakta, which is the Irish language speaking radio station. And one morning I didn't know the scores, and they were going through the football scores from they were doing all the Gaelic Athletic Association, the GAR, all the Gaelic football and hurling and scores, and then they just threw in the Celtic score. I was like, what?
Yeah, you wouldn't do that, would you?
I know. How bizarre is that? But it just shows you my Irish is coming along. Get what we're talking about. Number. What am I doing? 14. I've done 14.
No, yeah, 15.
Number 15, Celtic grew up last night.
Here.
Yep.
Or how.
Number 16, Lenny in a purple bib. What was that all about?
Yeah, I agree. What was it all about? I thought he was as a sub.
Maybe he wanted to come on.
No, I'm sure Mealby and Gary Parker didn't have bibs on.
No, they didn't. I double checked.
So
what was that?
What was going on there?
Maybe because he was pacing along the technical area, he had to wear a bib or something.
And then he took it off when the second goal was scored.
Right.
But then he put it back on.
I bet you someone told him. Some wanker UEFA bureaucrat.
Oh, well, when they put on Ledley, did you see that? So they put on Ledley and the camera's gone really close to to put Ledley on.
Yeah.
The fourth official.
Yeah.
Fourth official yelled at our bench and said, "You can't do it now." But yelled quite with a really stern tone. Yeah. Because we didn't do the numbers for him for the board.
Yeah.
It's
pathetic. Yeah. And you also notice when Hooper got dragged down, and there was this confusion as to what was going to happen to the referee. Was he going to, and as the referee's walking back towards Hooper, it cuts to the bench and Neil Lennon is screaming at the fourth official, "You're fucking kidding! You're fucking kidding me!" Just I couldn't even hear it, but I knew exactly what he was saying, and I wish that fourth official did as well. Yeah. Number 17, Gary Parker always looks like he's just woke up from a stag disgust. That is so true.
He looks shocking. He looks shocking.
Just comb your hair once, Gary.
And shave your beard.
Oh, I know. He looks shocking, and his tracksuit doesn't fit. Number 18, did that big empty end behind Fraser Forster put him off? Number 19, Rangers don't do walking away, Celtic defenders don't do following up. No, that's very true. And number 20, Moscow is not in Europe. The statistics still stand. Shave, I do so.
I agree with that, because I'm going to Russia in a month and a half. And
stop bragging.
Yep. And so for all of Europe, I've got a British passport instead.
Yeah.
Except for Russia. After the visa for Russia.
Because it's true they're not a part of the European Union. But I don't think they're in the European Union because they're a bunch of dodgy, corrupt,
bullshit,
totalitarian oligarchs.
The only place that I have to give my entire itinerary, show that I paid, I'm going, this is communism. Come on, this is communist Russia. Well, so I thought I was going to.
It is communist Russia. Well, it was anyway. Yeah. And number 21, Miku, this is your mate. Might not have played, Callum.
It's Rabbi.
But his arrival has fair inspired Hooper's goal-scoring exploits, with Effie slotting in Good signings, gaffer, I should say. Thank you, E-Tims, for that crowd pleaser.
Yep.
Very astute. The reason why I went to E-Tims page was because I wanted to actually look at the coefficient and quickly discuss that. How are we going? 55 minutes. We'll wrap up in a second.
We will.
Dawn's going to be loving this.
Dawn
will be loving this. Dawn,
especially with some Geelong to Melbourne.
Dawn is catching the train to see her great-great-grandchildren.
And Dawn's 20.
I like what you did there.
Scottish family.
You turn it around. So let's just look. Okay, so Celtic's coefficient at the moment is for, I guess this is just for UEFA team coefficient. Yeah, no, it's the whole thing. So we're 6th. I don't know how that works, but we're 6th.
Go us. Is it by, like, do you get more points for away wins or something? Or?
You get bonus points.
Right, nice.
We should probably do a bit of research on this one and work it out. But let me tell you, Barcelona's on top. Their team coefficient is 9.05, followed by Manchester United, whose team coefficient is 8.9, and then that Borisov, who beat or drew, beat Bayern.
Yep.
Their coefficient is 8.8.
Right.
Fourth is Chelsea, their coefficient is 7.9. Followed by Shakhtar Donetsk, and their coefficient is 7.8.
Shakhtar's still getting around.
Yeah, I know. And then it's all that drug money. And then Celtic at 6th, and they're 7.5, with daylight between us and Valencia, Malaga, and Real Madrid. Who the fuck are they? And they're all in sort of low 7s.
Nice. That's great.
Below that, Arsenal, Braga, Porto, Paris Saint-Germain.
Where's Man U? Were they there before us?
Yeah, they're second.
Okay. I thought the league for a bit.
Yeah, Juventus, Benfica.
That's great.
So,
we're all kind of happy to be in the Champions League at the start.
I'm looking for Sevco, but I'm down to like the 400s and I can't find them yet.
Well, you have to be a real club to exist, I think.
You've got to play in Europe too.
Yeah. You have to have some type of accounting books. But this is probably not a bad point in terms of we're all just happy that we're in the Champions League, and then once we got over the joy of being in the Champions League, we then looked at the draw and we thought, third place. I think everyone was not secretly happy, but I think everyone was happy to finish third.
Yeah.
Now we're kind of...
It's game on.
Yeah, bloody hell it is.
Yeah.
I think the players, have gone, I don't want to finish. Yeah, they want this opportunity to play in the Champions League for as long as possible.
Yeah.
And after the last 16, anything can happen.
And think about it, like...
and I really want to go to Europe in the summer.
You want to go to Europe in the summer? So for the Champions League final.
Yeah.
Where's it being played this year? We knew this.
We discussed this the other day as well.
And if you're Gary Hooper, who was rumoured to have been courted by Southampton in the off-season, you'd be sitting there going,
I know.
Fuck that. Who wants to play at the Dell when he can play in that really shitty stadium in Moscow? But in the Champions League, you know?
Yeah, and listen to the music.
And listen to the music. What music?
Like the Champions League. Yeah.
Oh, the Champions. All right. I thought it was like random.
Which you can't download.
But we have got.
Well, I'm Rafa. I don't have it.
Well,
Pretty fun day has it.
I'll load it to you. Is that a wrap?
That's a wrap, baby.
Are we done?
We're done.
How beautiful is it a night on the balcony for Eddie tonight?
It is actually.
This is the best weather I've had since summer.
Yeah.
Summer is on.
And tomorrow's going to be 27 degrees.
I can't believe it.
Eat that.
Scotland. Northern Hemisphere.
In Russia. It was warmer in Russia than Scotland.
Was it really?
Yeah.
How hot was it in Russia?
It was 10, 11 degrees or something.
Oh, 11. Right. So, that's 2 podcasts in a row we've done, people, so we're not doing another for about 3 months,
yeah,
right?
So far. No one's going to listen to us.
We're exhausted. We've got nothing.
We've watched one game in 4. We've done 2 podcasts in 2 weeks.
I am watching the Hearts game Sunday night.
So am I. Is it on Satana?
Yeah, I think it is.
Probably.
But I'll be watching on Celtic TV, so...
What's the big derby?
the Glasgow versus Edinburgh.
It's at home as well.
Is it?
It is.
Oh.
Well, it says on my Mac it's on home.
Yeah, well, did you be right then? Don't forget to subscribe to the Rebel Podcast by going to our website, which is www.the-flak.com. And you can also listen to us on iTunes, and you can also subscribe to us through our partners in crime, which is howhowmedia.com. And there's a whole host of other great web podcasts that you can get around. Make sure you donate to the We Oscar Appeal as well. Absolutely, donate to the We Oscar Appeal. And there's a new Titans video, which is, I'm assuming that a lot of people would know, Gangnam Style, which is kind of the new
phenomenon sweep in the world.
Yeah.
And it is hilarious. And they're seen to, there's 4,000 kids
Just in hoops.
with Celtic strips, which is last year's, so they're not bad, their strips.
Yeah. And you can follow us on Twitter at Rebel Podcast, which is RHEBELPHODCAST. And you can follow Callum at Donners67, DONNERS67. And you can follow myself, Prefontaine, at Prefontaine67. This has been a production by Reg Grundy Television when we're in Sydney, which is at the Steeple Townhouse. Callum was dressed by St Vincent de Paul in Warrigal because his granny picked out his clothes for him, but they don't fit.
She's a good lady.
And I choose to do nothing because I'm living off the fat of the land. Good luck, everyone, this week.
Have fun.
Enjoy basking in the glory of being second on the table of group, whatever we're in.
And supporting a club that actually exists.
How.